And welcome to Art and Stage Talk Radio. I am your host, Tracy Jordan, with my lovely co-host, Heidi Hardy. Say hello, Heidi.
Hello, Heidi.
And we have a room full of lovely ladies tonight here to talk with us. And we're delighted that you all are out there joining us. This is Art and Stage, your source for all things art, culture, and things happening on the stage across North Texas and the Metroplex, brought to you by the Dance Council of North Texas.
Yes, the Dance Council and I don't know, maybe last year in October or November, we started talking. They wanted to do something fun and unique.
So, of course, we called Heidi Hardy.
Well, of course. No, we were connected. But what was exciting about it is it was the concept of getting Art and Stage radio.
This is a new concept for art organizations in North Texas. Dance Council of North Texas helps other dance organizations and businesses in areas of communications, marketing, social media, where they perhaps don't have those resources. So we said, let's work on expanding our services to other arts organizations and put a spotlight on the different cultural groups around Dallas and North Texas, because there is so much going on. So people don't know how much is going on. Let me tell you how much is going on out there. We started in last fall.
Yes, we did in December.
And I tell you, I know you'll agree with me on this. As to host the show has been a terrific tour through all of the different arts groups, and I feel like we've only begun to scratch the surface. But there is so much that you can see or do on any given weekend or during the week here in the Metroplex.
Yes. One of the things that we want to encourage our listeners and on-demand watchers to do is follow the Dance Council on Facebook or Twitter, and or go to the website. It's the dancecouncil.org.
thedancecouncil.org.
Yes, and there's a lot of really great information. Obviously, it's about dance, but where I was going with that story is that, it's expanded. There's so much wonderful art and culture happening that, we sort of cover the whole spectrum. So we're really excited about doing that. And we have a wonderful organization in the house today with some beautiful ladies. So let's, without further ado, let's make sure that we include them. It is the Women's Chorus of Dallas. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and maybe go around the room, starting with Melinda, and just, we won't go into your story yet, but introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm Melinda Imthern, Artistic Director for the Women's Chorus of Dallas.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I am Katina Brooks. I am the BP Choral Liaison for the Women's Chorus of Dallas.
I'm Alyssa Hamulak, and I'm the Communications Manager for the Women's Chorus of Dallas.
And you can't see her yet, but Kyle Young Moncure is here, and she's the Director of Development. We're going to hear from her a little bit later in the show, a little bit more about what she does and how she helps this awesome nonprofit organization right here in Dallas. But before we get started with that, let's Tracy, if you will, just talk about the advertising opportunities with the Dance Council.
Well, if you would like to get your message out to a wider audience, as I said, we offer through the Dance Council many different opportunities in terms of marketing your program or your organization or your business, either through our printed publication, Dance, which comes out 4 times a year, or our online publication, Dance, which comes out every month. And we have, email blasts that we can send out for you, as well as advertising opportunities on the radio program here.
We would love. It's it could be as low as $25 to be a
Extremely
sponsor.
reasonable, very reasonable.
And I think, we go back to many of the organizations that we work with are nonprofits, and getting their word out is probably one of the hardest things that they do. So we want to encourage them to either take advantage of all the opportunities with the Dance Council, or pick one that
Well,
will
and
work.
folks, we'll remind you, if you are if you're interested in this platform, the wonderful thing about these programs, if you're doing a program with us or advertising as a sponsor on one of our programs, we're live right now for
Yeah,
the next hour.
absolutely.
But these programs live on forever on demand.
Yes.
And you can access that through our website at thedancecouncil.org and share the recorded programs with your prospective clients and customers, and spread your message and your media far and wide.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of podcasts and radio shows and on demand, and I'll binge listen. And it's a lot of fun to get to the website and you notice somebody you might have recognized from the arts community and listen to their story. So I encourage everybody to go to thedancecouncil.org and check out some of our on-demand shows. So, Tracy, I added a new segment.
Tell me.
And ladies, please chime in if you have something that you'd like to offer. There's so much going on in our DFW community, and we had the Bass Hall, the marketing, Jason from the Bass Hall here, and he said something I thought was really interesting and very accurate. We're in an entertainment city. There's baseball, there's football. And what we want to do is talk about what's going on from the art standpoint. If somebody's watching and they may not have had an opportunity to see a concert or a play, let's help them understand what the art community is doing. So I have the first thing that I brought up earlier, right before the show, and let me get my little mouse cursor on it. But we're looking at the Texas Commission on Arts.
TACA.
Yeah. And so it says full funding for the Texas Commission on the Arts has not been restored as the legislative process continues in Austin. The final budget is currently being drafted by the 10-member Budget Conference Committee. They are reconciling the House and Senate versions of the state budget for the next biennium. Members of, and then it lists sort of the members of your House and your Senate for Texas, and it says to write them and to urge them to fully fund the arts. And I think as a nonprofit organization, Melinda, that's an important part of what we do here in Texas.
Gosh, this is huge. TCA funds so many wonderful arts organizations, and their funding accounts for about 10% of our annual budget. So a loss in TCA funding would have a huge impact in the arts community right here in Dallas. We wouldn't see as much programming as we see right now. So we have been advocating. I have been writing. I've been encouraging singers to write their representatives and make sure that they know how important this is. And anybody who's listening, please do so. We want arts here in North Texas.
Well, and if you've ever seen a list of the organizations that they give to, it is quite extensive.
It is, yeah. I mean, they fund really large organizations down to really small ones. And I think that most people would feel it in some way. They would have an absence. They're connected with some arts organization. May not be ours, it may be a different one, but we would note the difference if the funding isn't restored.
How did the Women's Chorus build their relationship with TACA?
How did we build our... Well, I've been around for 10 years, so I know about these 10 years, and I know that we are annual recipients of an Arts Create grant, which just basically funds our season, not in its entirety, but is funding for our season. They have these wonderful project grants called Arts Respond grants, where we will address a particular area of emphasis that TCA has. For example, we have our upcoming concert on Sunday at the Texas Discovery Gardens, and they fund that through their nature. I don't remember the exact wording, but basically arts that is focused on programming relating to nature and the environment, which is unique. We don't always see that, and so that's been a really, really great source of funding, and has helped to produce some, if I might say, some really outstanding concerts at the Texas Discovery Garden. So,
If she does say so herself.
I don't know what to say. Yeah, I mean, I think that programming is important.
Well, it says here that that let's see. The arts employ one of every 15 working Texans, that the arts contribute 5.5 billion annually to the Texas economy, and that the arts generate 343 million in annual sales tax revenue. So, I mean, besides, right, the altruistic, we love arts and it's important. It is a driving force in our economy.
It is. It really is.
So that's going on in the news, and I would like to encourage anybody that feels passionately about it to, sort of make sure that we get that funding.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If it doesn't get you in the heart, it'll get you in the
There
pocketbook,
you
right?
go. There you go. We've all worked for the nonprofits that depend on that. The other thing that came in the news that I thought was great news was about the Booker T. Washington, and you probably know a little bit more about this, Tracy.
Well, I did see this in the news just yesterday.
5 students and
Yes, the school in New York is
Juilliard.
Thank
Juilliard,
you, Juilliard.
yes.
I was going to say Joffrey, and I thought that's not the right one. Juilliard accepts 10 students, incoming men, each year into their program. And this year, 5 of them came from the same place, from Booker T. Washington School for the Visual and Performing Arts, right here in Dallas. And I'm particularly being a guy and growing up a dancer, gratified that it was 5 guys.
Yeah.
And they all found out yesterday at the same time. The phone calls must have gone out from New York because they said, hey, I just got a call. Oh, well, I just got a call. Hey, I got accepted too. Hey. So they're all, it's going to be the Texas invasion
Yes.
going to New York. And these guys are, as you can imagine, thrilled about it.
Oh, yeah.
But another thing that it says, and this is part of my job, what I see, the talent that is being developed and grown up here in Dallas is top drawer, truly top drawer. And having worked in the business and traveled between New York and Las Vegas and Los Angeles, I can tell you they're all lousy with Texans. Everywhere you go up there, you bump into a Texan who's working in the business, and there's just and I've heard people remark on it across the country. What is it about all the why are you people coming up here?
Well, it's
That's
exciting.
huge, though.
Yeah.
I mean, to think that an elite school like the Juilliard School will have half of its incoming freshman males from the same school in Dallas, Texas. That's
Yeah.
Well,
amazing.
it says a lot about how, and we talk about this almost every week, how this community, in all the communities, Grand Prairie is one of them that we had on, and City of Plano is another, are fostering or nurturing these arts, and from a very young age, this is a place to be and explore those interests for children. So it's extremely exciting, and it says a lot about
Oh yeah.
Arts
program-
education.
Well, arts education, but things that you do, Tracy. Speaking of, there's a big event coming up over there in Dallas.
Well, yes. Don't forget, if you're not doing anything next Thursday night and looking for something fun to do, come join us over at the Music Hall at Fair Park. It is the 6th annual DSM High School Musical Theater Awards. If you've ever watched the Tony Awards on Broadway, well, this is like the Tony Awards for high schools. And we are now the 2nd largest program in the country. We have 78 musical productions entered from all over North Texas and Southern Oklahoma. And we've been rehearsing with them this past week, preparing them for the opening number and the finale, and I just marvel at the talent of these young people, and not only the talent but the character. That one of the things that I like to point out, there's so much kids get so much bad press every day. This has been a wonderful opportunity to point out kids that are excelling and striving and are leaders and are going to be the future leaders of not only in our individual, in the arts and entertainment industry, but I talk to so many of these kids that are not going to go into the theater, but are doing this as an avocation and are going to be in science or business or law. I talked to a valedictorian this past week, and he says he's going into math and the sciences. But he finds that his brain works better if he gives it this creative outlet. And I thought that's an amazing thing out of the mouth of babes, so to speak. This young man who is clearly a highly intelligent fellow going into the sciences, but his brain, he says, analyzing himself, works better when he gives it this creative outlet and feeds it in a different way. So it gets back to your point, Melinda, about how important the arts are to us and to our not only our economies but to our communities.
And you know, a lot of the TCA fund, going back to TCA, a lot of those TCA funded organizations are providing opportunities for these younger people to experience the arts or to participate in the arts. So you know, there's a tie-in there. The two ladies here with me, Alyssa and Katina, they didn't mention, but they're also singers with the Women's Chorus of Dallas, and are taking that concept into, you know, they're not musicians as their vocations, it's their avocation. I'd be interested to hear what you guys have to say about how it might affect your vocation.
Sure, certainly, yeah. So I was actually a musical theater kid in Dallas many years ago now.
Not that many.
Well, it feels like many. And
Where did you go to school in Dallas?
I went to Newman Smith.
Okay.
Yeah, we did Oliver my senior year. So, you know, as I progressed through college and enjoyed music so much, but knew that I wanted my vocation to be in business, I struggled to find that outlet. And that was something that I was really lucky to find in the Women's Chorus of Dallas, because sometimes it's difficult to fit into a working professional schedule all of the time that it may require to be involved with the arts after work. So having that outlet has been something that's really helpful for me in how I manage stress, and also something that I bring to my clients, because they're interested in what's going on in Dallas and what other opportunities there are to see shows and performances. And I'm very plugged in and invite them to, you know, our concerts. And I actually had a situation where I was able to provide a client with some basketball tickets, and I told them later on about our concert, and he was like, I'd much rather have the concert tickets than the basketball. I was like, great, perfect, come on over. So yeah, it's definitely something that I think helps to enrich not just my, you know, life, but also, you know, the business that I have within Dallas. So.
Well, Lisa, you know, that's part of what we want the audience and the watchers, the listeners to feel, is that connection that you can do both, right? You can live and do your passion. What we do is take a break about this time. So Katina, when we get back, we'll hear more about your avocation and vocation. And but this is a very short video that was given to us by Melinda, and if you want to maybe tee it up and tell us what we're about to watch.
Which one is it of the two? Do you know? Oh, Moon Goddess. Okay. Well, I'm excited to tell you about this one. Moon Goddess, we performed in March on our Voices of Women concert. We did that for the third time this past March, and this is a celebration of women in music. This year's program featured all women composers. We partnered with the Texas Women's University Choir, as well as about 100 high school singers from the Dallas Independent School District.
Wonderful.
So there's our education tie-in. And it was a wonderful concert. As part of the Women's Chorus of Dallas's set, I chose Moon Goddess by Jocelyn Hagan, who's a composer with whom we've had a relationship. She wrote a work for us the season before this one. And when I found out she was going to be in town for this concert, we talked about what we might perform, and she suggested Moon Goddess, which happens to have a four-hand piano. So in the video, you'll actually see that we're singing. Our pianist, Will Varner, is playing, as well as the composer herself, Jocelyn Hagan, is playing the piano for this super powerful piece, Moon Goddess.
Wonderful. You're listening to Art and Stage, and we'll be right back. And welcome back. This is Heidi Hardy, and you're listening to Art and Stage Talk Radio. We have the Women's Chorus of Dallas in the house, and that was gorgeous.
Thank you.
It wasn't long enough. Good tease to get people to go in there and see more of your organization and what it does.
Oh,
And
sure. I
so-
hope they do. Yeah, twcd.org.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So we have a room full of beautiful women and a very handsome co-host, Tracy Jordan. Thanks for being here today, Tracy.
Lucky me.
Absolutely, lucky us as well. We are here to talk about this nonprofit organization. If you just joined us, we had a really, I think, a great feedback from Alyssa talking about how her vocation and avocation being with the chorus, it enhances your life. So one of the things that I promised is that we would hear from Katina. And Katina, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and tell us your story.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Katina Brooks. I am the VP Chorus Liaison, and I'm also a active singer with the Women's Chorus of Dallas. I have had a love for music all of my life. Let my dad tell it, I was singing inside the womb. But I had a passion for string instruments, so I played the violin for like 8 years, and I stopped because I became a mother. But I kept that passion for music, and I became the music in my mother's house. And I had a kid, and I made sure that music was a part of his life. I made him play the saxophone for 3 years. And after the 3 years was up, he was like, Mom, I want to stay with the saxophone. So we stayed with the saxophone. Now that I'm a grandmother, I have a 5-year-old grandson. He loves the piano, so we play the piano. He loves Mama's guitar, so we play the guitar. Coming to work every day, people know something is wrong with me because if I'm not singing, something's wrong with Katina. So they try to keep me happy, keep me singing. But that's a way that now that I've joined the chorus, that's the way that I get most of my members, most of the clients to come and see the women's chorus because, hey, what are you singing this season? Hey, and I actually have a coworker, he's a music of ministry, and he helps me with some of my work. So music ties in with everything we do. I work around scientists all day, and you would never know out of all of the 30 people in my department, I have, a trumpet player, a pianist. You have so many different outlets that, music has touched everyone's lives. Sure. So, that's what music is.
Yeah.
It's touching everyone's life.
Well, you just like the passion about it is contagious. You can feel it.
And someone else told me that too. Yeah.
Well, the story about your son is also it. I enjoyed that because sometimes kids do the opposite, and when they enjoy the same thing that you do, then there's a really cool tie.
Exactly.
How old is he?
He's 29.
He's 29. Does he
Yes.
still play?
No, he doesn't. But he makes sure that my grandson is playing the piano and playing some type of instrument because I instilled in him that if you don't have a job, you can play an instrument and you can make some money. You'll never
You
be
can
poor.
always
Exactly. Exactly.
fall back on that talent.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yes.
Good for you. So one thing that you didn't mention is you said you were singing in the womb. What is it that you do professionally?
Were you taking requests?
My tip jar is around here somewhere. I work for Mary Kay. I am a lab coordinator at Mary Kay.
Okay.
Just right around the corner here. And I've been there, actually celebrated my 15th anniversary
Wow,
with
that's
Mary
awesome.
Kay.
They're a
And
wonderful corporation.
It's an awesome place to work.
They are.
And I've worked there, and I'm actually a licensed paralegal. So I use my paralegal knowledge with the regulatory department as a lab coordinator.
Okay. Wow.
I didn't want to get too
Exciting
fancy.
stuff.
Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
no, that's pretty cool. So Melinda, give us a little bit of a background on what you do and why you do it.
Well, I'm artistic director and principal conductor for the Women's Chorus of Dallas. So that means I plan our seasons, handle most things artistic, audition singers, lead all of our rehearsals, conduct our performances, and What was the second part of the question? The short-term memory.
When did you get to start?
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, this is my 11th season. So I got started actually as a singer. I was moving back to Dallas, not from far away. I'd been in college in Denton and had kind of stuck around for a while. Moving back to Dallas and thought, how can I plug into the arts community here in Dallas? And found the Women's Chorus of Dallas and thought, well, hey, I'll go sing with the Women's Chorus and see what happens. And what happened was a job search for an artistic director. And I was asked to serve on the committee because I had some music experience. And we started writing the job description. And we're in the meeting writing the job description. And I'm thinking, boy, gosh, this person sounds a lot like me. And so the position came open again shortly thereafter. And I threw my hat in the ring and said, hey, I think I'm your person. And been around ever since.
No, you don't do that full time. That's not your.
No. My full-time job is I'm a professor of music at Eastfield College, which is
Yeah.
part of the Dallas County Community College District.
I just find that so fast. I mean, to have something that you love so much that you're balancing not just those two things that you
Sure.
do, and I'm sure you love the professorial side too. I mean,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
teaching, but to have both of them and then balance your life and all the other things that go with. Tracy, you do the same thing.
And I've looked at your programming for the Women's Chorus, and you must keep pretty busy.
Yeah.
We do, yeah. We keep pretty busy. It's a busy week, in fact, this week as we lead up to our concert on
Well,
Sunday.
tell us, give us some history on the Women's Chorus.
My goodness. Well, the Women's Chorus of Dallas was founded in 1989. And as I understand it, we had a men's chorus in Dallas, the Turtle Creek Chorale, and somebody had the idea that, well, there should be a women's chorus, which I think was a great idea. And so some folks got together and formed a women's chorus. I was, just barely born at the time. I wasn't a part of that. It was about 28 years ago. But the chorus has just been around ever since, and we've just had some wonderful milestones. We've performed at Carnegie Hall. We've traveled throughout North America. We have performed with the Kronos String Quartet. We've performed with so many of our local arts organizations. We have performed for Queen Elizabeth II, all kinds of interesting things.
Who's your agent?
Performed for the inauguration of Ann Richards, of many of the Dallas mayors, so a lot of civic type performances for the Women's Chorus. And then we have our 3-concert series each season. So that's kind of what we do. We also have a large community outreach aspect to what we do. So we'll go places where people may not have access to music and perform for them, or offer free tickets to our concerts to people who maybe couldn't afford a concert ticket or for some reason wouldn't be able to attend otherwise.
And how many members do you have?
We carry about 60 members.
That's a heavy load.
Sure, yeah, they're all fantastic though.
But
It's
she's
easy.
not heavy.
It's a
She's my
breeze.
sister. No, that's okay. So that leads to my next question, and I've listened to the background of each of you, and I'm just fascinated at what kind of a cross section you find in your members.
It's really amazing to me sometimes to look around the room and see the relationships that have formed in the group, because you realize, were it not for the Women's Chorus of Dallas, a lot of these people never would have been in the same room, maybe for geographical reasons or whatever. But we have such a wide variety in age. I think our members go from 23 to 70-something. They'd rather me not say. All kinds of ethnic backgrounds and musical backgrounds. So yeah, I would say it's a wide cross section of the DFW area.
I often talk about, I know so many professional actors in this town who have day jobs. And it sounds very similar to what you all have with the Women's Chorus. Most people that sing have done it since we were in the womb or barely out, and have always done it as an avocation. So it's always a part of your life, no matter what else you're doing. And it sounds like how do How do your members find you?
How do they find us? Well, I'll tell you, we have a lot of coffee drinkers in our membership right now because Starbucks has been a great place for us to post flyers. And so that has been a real focus the past 5 years. So I always know we're going to have well-caffeinated singers on Monday nights. And word of mouth, of course, is huge. Our own advertising, our own promotions. And we get the people who are professional musicians by day, maybe a music teacher or something like that. We get folks like Alyssa who maybe studied music in college but went another direction career-wise. We get folks like Katina who have kind of always sung but didn't do it in a professional capacity. Some who maybe have never done it in any kind of formal capacity. We call them the shower singers, I always wanted to sing in a choir. Here I am to my audition to see if I'm any good at singing. And that's fun too.
Well, I would think that would be one of the most interesting pieces of what you all do is the auditions. And the they're like, oh, let's talk. Well, we'll talk about that in the last half of the show.
Are they anything like the You've Got Talent or
No, I mean, I want a chair that spins around, but they won't give it to me. No, apparently now singers are warned of my audition face before they come in. 'Cause I think maybe I've gotten good at keeping a fairly blank face during auditions. And so I actually walked by a meeting where the chorus board president was saying, now, if Melinda looks like this, blank face, don't worry, that's just her audition face. I don't know if you guys got the audition face.
I did.
How nerve-wracking. I mean, obviously all auditions are a little bit nerve-wracking, but the talent, and being accepted. And so do you have a large pool of people that come to these auditions?
We do. I would say over the past 10 years, I don't want to say the standard, but the requirements have changed in that we require a little bit more background, a little bit of a higher level of singer, as well as a little bit of music reading, which was not the case maybe more than 10 years ago. So in that way, we tend to be a little bit more selective than maybe we have been in the past. Simply because the music that we sing tends to be a little more complex than it was 5 or 10 years ago, and it's helpful to have that background.
Sure.
I don't know, from the singer's perspective, I don't think we have a very grueling audition. It's sing a song, and then I might vocalize them at the piano to hear for range and what voice part they might sing, a little bit of sight reading, and then a thank you very much.
Yeah.
I don't know from the singer's
Don't call us,
perspective.
we'll call you.
I was just going to say, do you guys have a story about your audition? Anybody in the room?
I was nervous. I wasn't nervous beforehand, but got to get to the one-on-one with Melinda, and again, the blank face. I didn't know anything about it, and I'm like, I'm gonna fail, but I didn't. But it was just something out of the norm for me. Having to do a one-on-one session with someone to say, hey, you're good, or try again next season. Yeah. But again, I made it, and I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I'll stay.
Yeah.
Can I stay?
Sure.
Thank you.
How about you, Alyssa?
Goodness. Well, I would say, it's all relative. So
Sure.
audition-wise, everyone gets nervous at auditions. It doesn't matter how many times you've done it. I think it's always a little bit scary. But that being said, I would say that our process isn't very grueling. You pretty much can sing any song that you want, which is really nice. And I think the sight reading is probably what gives most people, the most nerves and butterflies. But I just remember from my audition, because our process is normally you come and you sit in a rehearsal and kind of get to know what the vibe is, kind of what everybody is capable of doing, and honestly get to know Melinda a little bit, because that's a really important part, I think, is, the connection with the director. And in my audition, I don't remember what I said exactly, but you were like, I just love that you use that grammatical choice, like the way that I had said something. And I was like, oh, we're going to get along. Great. And it was just an energy and a feel about the chorus that really drew me in, because frankly, everybody's busy, and sometimes it's difficult to, drop off the kids and get to work and make dinner and, you know, whatever it is that you have within your life to make it there. But it's the energy from Melinda and from everyone at the chorus that really draws me in, and I think most of the people in the chorus would agree.
Wow, I have so many questions. Well, we're going to take a break for another video in just a minute, and I wanted to make sure that we bring Kyle in because she's been quiet, and we're gonna ask her some questions. Kyle, do you also sing with the choir?
No.
Okay.
Would you like to audition right now? Any song you like.
No. I have, honestly. I have sang with a choir for many, many years, but I'm originally from Kansas City, Missouri, where, of course, I sang with my church choir like everybody else in the world. And since coming to Dallas 18 years ago, I have not sang with anyone.
Oh,
I know.
let's talk later.
Okay.
See,
All right.
some hidden
but
talent.
But if I sing, you have to accept me.
Oh,
There's no rejection.
okay. Let's talk about that.
Right.
Wonderful.
So I have one quick question, if I could ask.
Sure.
What is the most unusual song or surprising song you guys have ever sang?
Good question.
Oh, the choir has ever sung?
choir.
Oh, my goodness. Do you guys have?
Any Beyonce,
Goodness.
Bruno Mars, Rihanna.
Oh, my goodness. We did, the small ensemble did an Adele medley a few years ago.
Skyfall.
Skyfall,
Yes,
right,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, that's a great
Okay.
song. I love that song. We did a parody. Someone made it famous. I won't be able to come up with her name right now, though. Called the Mom Song that was to the William Tell Overture. At our Mother's Day concert a few years back, and it was basically talking about a day in the life of a mom. It goes at lightning speed.
Oh, no.
And I'll tell you, the singers had a good time with that, learning all of those words.
Fun.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
What a great question. Well, we're going to come back. I know we're going to see this next video, and can you tee it up for us?
Sure. What's the title of the song for the next one?
Clip number 2.
Clip number 2.
Ah, yes.
I would love to
remember
tell you about it after we hear it.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go ahead and take a break now, and you're listening to Art and Stage. This is Heidi Hardy and Tracy Jordan. We'll be right back.
And this is Tracy Jordan. We're back with Art and Stage Talk Radio with my co-host Heidi Hardy, the Women's Chorus of Dallas, and that was them performing the hand jive.
It does sound a little like it. Yeah, for those who are listening and not watching, that was the sounds you were hearing were body percussion. So the singers were stomping their feet or, slapping their knees or things like that for a song called The Little Road by Morris Smiley. And we had a lot. I don't know, singers, did you have fun learning that body percussion?
Yes.
It just went lickety-split. I mean, it took like 30 seconds and it was mastered. No, it took some time to learn the body percussion. But
Still
we had
learning
a good
the
time
body
with it.
percussion.
Still learning it. We now, if you liked it, you can hear it again on Sunday. We went to the trouble to learn it, so we're going to perform it again.
Well, let's quickly plug what's going on Sunday.
Yes,
We
so-
want to make sure as many people know.
Absolutely. Sunday, Spring Song is our final concert of the season. Every year we do it on Mother's Day in the beautiful Texas Discovery Gardens. We're in the Grand Hall, which has a beautiful window behind the stage so you can see the gardens as you listen to beautiful music. We sing about nature. We sing about our mothers, our grandmothers, our aunts, the people who have kind of been our maternal figures in our lives. And we close the concert in the Butterfly House, the Tropical Butterfly House, with a song and a butterfly release. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't get better than that. It's a lot of fun.
Too cool. Oh,
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah,
So how would
we
somebody
enjoy
go
it.
get some tickets and,
Well,
and make sure to take them off?
You could visit our website for more
Okay.
information, twcd.org. If you want, or you're sure you want tickets right now, you can go to ticketdfw.com. We're right there on their homepage.
Awesome.
It's on Sunday, Mother's Day at 2:00.
How appropriate.
How exciting.
Yeah.
What fun. Singing with the butterflies.
Absolutely, yeah, it is a lot of fun.
Well, as a mom, Mother's Day, it just fast and furious, and you got to make plans in advance. And so I appreciate my mom, and certainly my kids are celebrating with me. So you do this every year for Mother's
We
Day.
do, yeah.
So we want to make sure that people know to plan in advance. every year.
Absolutely. Please come. It's a great way, not just for moms, for anybody. It's a great concert, particularly poignant probably for people to bring their mothers. For me, it'll be meaningful because it's my first Mother's Day as an adoptive parent. So,
Congratulations.
yeah, trying to cry in advance so that I can keep it together on Sunday.
One of the things that we want to make, I guess, apparent and give Kyle some time to talk about is you're the financial director for this nonprofit organization, or financial development
Yes.
director.
Yes.
And
Not for the Women's Chorus, but for Dance Council of North
For
Texas.
dance council.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Okay, so from a financial standpoint, the development side of helping nonprofits, I mean, obviously ticket sales are really important in the concert. Is it the community at large? I mean, how do we go and make sure more people hear about these wonderful organizations and help us get the word out?
So, I'll tell you what, and I'm not sure for everybody, but I will tell you, when I saw the position, and I'm kind of new to Dance Council, and my title is Director of Development, and my job is to make sure that we are connecting the passion of this organization with people who want to support and see this keep going forward. I personally, when I saw this position, and I've got a lot of experience in the nonprofit field, I said, this is it. This is for me, because I've always been really excited and passionate about the arts in general. Quick story, many years ago I saw Mark Cuban Dancing with the Stars, and I was hooked. I'm like, if he can do it, because he kind of went a little far. I was like, if he can do that, I want to, because I've always wanted to learn how to dance. Ballroom dance, I can dance, but not dance. And I went and found out about a studio called Studio 22, and that's where he took a lot of his classes, and I enrolled. I knew nothing. It almost killed me. I took samba, didn't know what I was doing, but I came out, I made it all the way through, and I've been dancing ever since. Now, I wouldn't want anybody to watch me dance, but I love it. I feel like dance is everything. So when I saw this position, I'm like, I know how to fundraise, and I know how to raise money, and I know how to connect and network, but I wanted to be able to help support this organization. I wasn't familiar with Dance Council. Long story short, I'm about 1 month in, and my role every day is to connect the passion of what we're doing, and there's so many things. You guys just talked about Booker T. Washington and the 5 students that are going to be going to Juilliard, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's amazing to me. I've shared that on all my social media, because I want people to see, yes, this is a community of dancers. It's also people who support dancers, but it's students and it's everything. So my new hashtag that I created is Dance is Everything. And I've been using that everywhere. We want organizations and communities to be aware of who we are and what we do and how we further the mission of the arts in general. We've got a choir here. I love choir. I mean, I told you I can't sing that good, but I love choir. I think that the arts, and I hate the idea that funding would be cut in any area, but my job is to make sure that if anything happens, God forbid, that we've got that support there to keep this going. So I am connecting with organizations, car dealerships, individuals, sports organizations, anyone who loves dance, who dances, who needs dance, who wants to watch dance. I'm out there trying to make sure that they know who we are, and hopefully will get behind us. So,
well,
that
good
is
job.
what I do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And,
That's what I'm doing.
Now, do you all also have a financial development arm of the organization?
No, we have a general manager who
Okay.
kind of handles
Well, and
that
kind of
task and many
ancillary
others.
question. Listening to you, I was wondering, do you find that as you're doing performances, that it attracts funders or people that want to support your organization?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think our greatest funding that's from individuals comes from either our singers or our audience members, for sure. Yeah, that's a big one. I think that what a lot of people don't know is ticket sales only cover a small portion of most arts organizations' budget. So, yeah, those donors are so important to us. Absolutely.
Speaking, also, we were talking about your performance coming up Saturday, but if you could, have you planned your next season yet? How can people get season tickets?
Sure, yeah. We have, well, it's our performance is on Sunday, Mother's Day at 2:00 this week. For next season, we will be doing our 3rd annual holiday concert with Metropolitan Winds at the Dallas City Performance Hall. We will then be doing our 4th Voices of Women concert, Voices of Women 4, with the Texas Women's University Concert Choir, as well as, we hope, more than 100 Dallas ISD high school choral singers, featuring the works of women composers. And then we will be reprising this Mother's Day concert next season. We've got a great season planned.
That's terrific.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the high school. So one of the questions I had when we first, before the show was, how do you keep nurturing, this talent, this ability, young women to go after this audition? And like you said, Katina, maybe it's not this year, but maybe it's them getting, some coaching or training. I mean, how do you, obviously you're in the high schools and
Right,
but what does that look like?
Well, I think that's exactly why you hit it on the head. That's why I wanted to include the high school women, which we started in our 2nd year. Our 1st year we were college choirs and then the Women's Chorus of Dallas. And I do some work with high school choirs in Dallas ISD, and I thought, what can we do to nurture their love for music and show them what a lifetime of making music looks like, regardless of what they're going to study. And so I thought, let's have them be a part of this Voices of Women concert. There are so many benefits to that. They get connected with college singers. They maybe are more interested in attending college, more interested in singing in the choir in college, whether they're studying music or not. And then they meet women from the Women's Chorus of Dallas who are maybe past that age, that traditional college age, and they see what it looks like to continue singing for the rest of your life and how powerful that could be. So what I'm hoping is that we're creating the future singers for the college program, and then one day they come and they sing with the Women's Chorus of Dallas.
Yes.
Well, Kyle, we talk about the Dance Council and dance, but what you're finding in this show, and Tracy, you can back this up, I know, is that they're multi-talented. If you're singing, then you're playing an instrument, or you're dancing, or you're in theater. I mean, they're really it's all-encompassing love of creation of the arts. And so it's exciting to have those young lives and minds know that, hey, we're women, we're proud, and there's something else you can do, and besides, in your college career, and move on to the choir. I'm sorry, I have to get this question out because when I think, because I can't sing.
I think I could teach you.
I would be your pet project. You would bring her on it. But what makes it, what drives you, obviously you're all talented singers. What drives you to be in a chorus versus, fostering that individual opportunity to get out there and sing? Is that different?
It's extremely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very.
I would say, for me, because I did musical theater, and so there are a lot of times you want the solo, you want to be,
Sure.
Singing by yourself, but there's something so unique and so special about singing and making music with other people that it's difficult to put into words, but it's a really beautiful, special moment that you can share with people. And I think that, like you said, we have a lot of members who are from very different walks of life, have very different life experiences, but we all have that bond when we make music together. It's very special and very unique. And I'm very lucky to be a part of it.
Oh, that's very
So am I. I love it. I have my Mondays scheduled out until 2018.
yeah.
That's it.
That's
Just
it.
2018.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're
It starts
gonna keep
now.
going.
It's going to keep going. My Mondays are scheduled. I mean, it's something. It gives me a regular something to do. It fills my calendar, and it also fills my soul. Sisterhood. I mean, you have extra sisters who can, if you're having a bad day, someone will come and give you a hug. It's just that sisterhood, that bonding, not only through music, but you spend 3 hours with this lady a night, and they know you. You know them. So you develop this bond, and it's unbreakable.
Well, there's from a psychological standpoint, they call it collective consciousness when everybody's doing something, positive and at the same time. And I'm sort of getting chills just thinking about what that experience has to be when it is so beautiful.
Well, and there's perhaps an allegorical aspect of this as well, because you're harmonizing, and it is perhaps the most, I don't know about the most intimate, but that's not the word I'm looking for. The most,
Connected or...
you're working cooperatively, and this is a life lesson for a lot of people in our world today. You have to listen to each other and blend
Exactly.
and meld
Yes.
into one voice. That has-
Tracy, I know you've experienced that as a dancer, how you use your body and what the vulnerability that you have to allow to do that. And
Don't drop me.
Right, exactly. And to just put yourself out there. And it's the same for singing. I mean, the voice is such a personal thing. I mean, think about what happens as soon as you get anger, upset. Where do you feel it? What happens in your throat? Your voice is so connected to your emotions. So something that I find really powerful is when we do have the women find their voices and become free and open with their voices. They change as people. I've seen it time and time again, and that is a beautiful thing.
It's not something you can do and remain angry.
Right,
not.
exactly. That's so true.
I used to, when I was in college, I sang with the barbershop harmony chorus. And one thing that always fascinated me, when you have four men standing together and are perfectly in tune, you create a fifth voice, that overtone.
Oh, the overtones, right.
And I have often pondered on that, thinking this is a great allegory for life.
Oh, no, I've got chills.
Yeah.
I mean, I have had the pleasure and the privilege and honor to have people like you in our studio and on the show that can express themselves and really transmit that positive energy that comes with all art. And, it's part of our lives. I came in as a lay person. I don't sing, I don't dance, but I'm a consumer of it. I love, in fact, I'm going to go see Legally Blonde.
Yes.
I'm so excited. It's at the Theater Arlington. They were with us last week. And so, we as the lay person who maybe isn't necessarily as talented in those areas, the experience when we get to sit down and listen to something as beautiful as the choir.
Well, and it's
By
two-way
singing.
communication. I mean, we need you,
Yeah.
We need the audience. So
Well, and that's one of the questions that we ask all the time. So do you feed off of that audience? If the audience is silent, if the audience is clapping with you, I mean, what does that feel like?
Well, I my back is to the audience most of the time, so I don't get it as much as the singers do. And actually, their eyes are on me 100% of the time, all the time. I'm sure of it. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't replicate in a room without an audience the feeling of having an audience there and being able to communicate with real live people. It's just something that's unique to having an audience there to communicate with. And that's the most exciting thing that we do, I think, is we reach people through our music and put them in touch with their emotions. Ladies, what do you have to say?
Well, I think particularly at the Mother's Day concert is when we feel so much from the audience. The songs that we do are beautiful, but some of them are very emotional. And so, yeah, I'd say that might be the only song where I don't always have my eyes on you because
Right.
my mom's in there just
Sure.
bawling. But anyway, so, but yeah, I mean, certainly you definitely feed off of the audience, and we feel, their participation, like Melinda said, a two-way communication. It definitely adds, I think, to the concert experience. And as much as we enjoy the chorus, we don't necessarily do it just for us. It's for the experience and to hopefully elevate, people and give them a nice, special, experience. So,
So when they're crying, you feel their emotion you're
Yes.
able to.
Oh, yes.
Well, they're the reason they're crying. Whatever they're doing is causing the emotional response, and that's when you get that back. I think it's a special feeling.
Well, as an artistic director, you have a large responsibility there, and obviously you love it. You've been
I do.
doing it a long time.
I love
so congratulations.
it's my passion. Yeah, thanks so much for having us. It was just great to be able to talk about it with you and kind of process some things. Your questions were wonderful.
Well, good. This show goes by pretty fast, and we only have a few more minutes. But I wanted to give you guys an opportunity, maybe to start with Katina, and just tell us. Is there something coming up that one of the performances, or do you have something going on in the future that you're working on? Is there
It's the Women's Chorus of Dallas.
and up until
that's nothing else.
2018, and that's
forever. The
that's
Women's Chorus for Dallas. Women's Chorus of Dallas forever.
forever.
I want to ask Katina a question.
Yeah.
What does the chorus liaison do?
You talk to me and not to her. You talk to me and not Melinda. That's what a
I
liaison.
didn't know that. I've got some people that need to talk to you.
Exactly. That's exactly what I do. You talk to me. She's busy. She has lots of things on her plate. And you talk to me. I filter the questions, and Melinda
And we'll
says,
get back to you.
Exactly. And we'll be right back.
My people will call your people.
When is your next audition?
Great
That's a great
question.
question.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That'll be at the end of August,
Okay.
either the 22nd or the 29th. You can visit us at twcd.org. We'll be publicizing that. We meet on Monday nights. Yeah. Go ahead and start practicing.
Warm up.
We meet on Monday nights, and the process is you attend a rehearsal and kind of get a feel for the chorus, and then you can sign up for your audition. So keep it in mind for August.
Okay.
And what was that website again?
twcd.org.
TWCD.org.
The Women's Chorus of Dallas.
And how long have you been with them, Melissa?
a year and a half. So I'm one of the relatively
newbie.
newer members. Yes.
Yes, and so that's in your future as well. Now, do you guys recruit? Are you, you hear someone that's a wonderful singer? Or?
I have been known to find the person who's humming in the store and talk to her and hand her a card and let her know that we have auditions coming
That's
up.
fantastic.
And I know I'm not the only one.
That's what I do. I keep.
Katina posts the flyer on her car window.
Yeah, I have on my sun visor. I'm like, hey, there's a QR code. Click this. Come join the chorus. If I hear someone humming, I hear someone singing, hey, you should join our chorus. We need altos. Let's go. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, that's the message then that we'll leave the show with, is that we want to encourage people that have that love singing.
Yes.
To come on out. I mean, I think when you audition, you learn something. I'm sure every single time, and the feedback that they get will be priceless. So, go to the website, buy the tickets. Mother's Day concert coming up, and then of course a great season also.
What a great thing to do with your mom.
Yeah,
Come listen to us sing with the butterflies on Sunday.
Oh man, sounds cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you for being here, ladies. We are honored again to hear the story of the women's the chorus. I get caught up on that. It's the
a hard
chorus.
word.
The Women's
Chorus
Chorus
of
of
Dallas. Absolutely. Thank you for being here, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be back next week with a new, wonderful, exciting show. And thanks for listening to Art and Stage. This
And
is
in the
Heidi Hardy.
meantime, find us at thedancecouncil.org.
Absolutely. Kyle, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
All right.
having me.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks a lot, guys.